Hi, my name is Robert W. Smith. I am the music coordinator, composer, and brass arranger for the 2016 Troopers Drum and Bugle Corps from Casper, Wyoming. Our show this year is simply entitled Hero. With that said, though, I want to encourage fans to look at the pre-show, watch the pre-show. You'll actually hear spoken words, spoken voices. Those are really troopers. Those are the members on the field. We sat there in March and April, and we recorded over 60 troopers telling their story. I simply asked them the question, who's your hero and why? Probably the cornerstone, the keystone, however, of the show was inspired by Uncle Rick.
My hero is my Uncle Rick. He had AIDS before I was born, and he was shunned by my family. My best friend.
Uncle Rick had a big impact on the design of our show. We chose John Corigliano, world famous composer out of New York, who wrote a Pulitzer Prize winning work in the late 80s. We chose movement number 1 of Rage and Remembrance because he honored a musician, a pianist, incredible pianist. And actually in our show, in the midst of all this, you'll hear reflective piano passages, a little tango. As that particular musician being honored looks back and reflects at the end of his life on the greatest moments of his life. I believe that this brings brand new sounds and new ideas to the field, and I think audiences will agree with me, particularly once you see that. Now, if you look at the cover of that John Corigliano album, you'll see the mall in Washington, D.C. And some of you of a certain age may remember the AIDS quilt that covered that particular mall. That AIDS quilt was made of little squares, and family members would put together a quilt made up of memories from that particular lost loved one. They strung all those together and literally covered the mall. That became an inspiration for us. And actually there is an interesting section, if you look in the very center, you actually will see this, what appears to be this kind of very free form, and then all of a sudden 3 different sections come to life sequentially. It's our own musical AIDS quilt, and we pay honor, we pay respect to members of our own drum corps community that we lost to that particular disease. For those of you that really know drum corps, I think you'll find it interesting because you'll see very clearly where those influences are, and those influences that are still on the field today from 3 really wonderful designers. There's one guard member, one soloist, and all of a sudden the costume, the shirt on his back is ripped off, and all of a sudden you see that ribbon, that red ribbon. During the part of that production, every time he moves somewhere, people are moving away. At the time, and I was very aware of this when it was unfolding in our society and our culture, and we just didn't know what it was as a culture, but people reacted in different ways to that, and instead of embracing, they shunned, just like Uncle Rick. All of a sudden then we begin to understand, and you'll see the Corps coming together. Now instead of moving away from him, they're moving towards him, almost to the point where they're laying hands on him, where we show the love and the beauty and everything that is part of being human. So this is one of those where when a fan is listening to this is not one that you compare to what your past musical experiences are. This is one where you just stop, you're human, and let the music take you. That's what Corigliano did, and that's what the Troopers are doing.